Stop it, Jay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Dragalicious recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7 right here on the stream.tv. The countdown is now over, and we have crowned America's drag superstar. I am your host, Tony Moore, and here to talk about all the shenanigans that happened last night, I have Christian, and of course, Jay.
Hi.
And our poor biological woman, Anastasia, couldn't be here, but we have one of the fiercest folks here at the stream.tv. You know her, you love her. She is Red, Miss Lady Red Couture. Yes. Hey,
Queen.
Hey, Queen.
Here's my introduction. I was about to be like, yeah.
How you doing?
It's early, bitch.
What time do y'all normally do Hey Queen?
Oh my God, it's early, but today is
early.
not the day.
Right.
I'm used to Thursday, and Thursday only, baby. So I'm like, oh, baby, you want me to do what?
Well, I'm glad you can be here.
Thank you for having
No,
me.
thank you for being
Yes,
here.
I wish
And
you
you
would
look
have me.
wonderful. You are
Yes.
sparkling for days.
Well, I don't really, I don't lower my standards. I am a big, giant, older queen who loves paillettes and drama and shit. You know, I got braids on under here. I mean, I love it all, baby. That's what you gotta give
That's that quick dude where you just kind of wrap it up at night and then let it down at night.
Well, it wasn't nothing quick about this dude.
So let's get right into the grand finale of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7. I'm pretty sure most fans are ready to put this one to sleep. So, you like that? Y'all saw what I did there?
Yes.
Get it for the puns early this morning. So what I liked about this finale was that we actually got a chance to see the top three perform. Because we usually don't get to see them perform until they get booked at a club.
Yes.
And then you're like,
oh.
Right.
Yeah.
oh, that's what you're giving. Okay.
Oh.
But at least we got a little preview.
Yes.
So what did you guys think of their lip syncs?
Ginger was taking me to church.
She did.
I loved it.
She took you to some church.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. How they catered each song to the person.
Yes.
They've
Yes.
never done that before, so that was
Yes.
kind of cool. As opposed, remember when American Idol, they used to all have to sing the same song? So
Yeah.
like a guy and a girl sing the same song, not fair.
Yeah.
This felt like they put some thought into it, and each one had an opportunity to do their style and
Yes.
a little bit of who they are, how they see
Yes.
themselves.
I kind of wish they would have let Violet do her aerial acrobatics because she does it so beautifully. And I was like, bring down the
But the old school
curtains.
burlesque thing,
Was
that
really
was
good.
that
was-
was pretty
Yeah.
spot
Yeah,
on,
all of
actually.
it.
Kind of
They
like that.
they gave her what she needed.
Yeah.
She just needed a platform. And the craziest thing was when I watched it with a couple of people, they were like, "Oh my God, these songs." I said, "Darling, it's all about TV rights. They can't
Right.
use stuff that they do normally.
Yeah.
So they have to create a song for them." Just like you noticed, Pearl did Sleepwalker. Ginger went to church. You know what I mean?
That would have been your song, except you would have sang it live, the church song. I know. If y'all don't know Miss Lady
belted
Couture,
out.
you can find her on YouTube. She sings for points.
Oh my God! I'm just an old lady trying to stay relevant.
But I did enjoy just seeing them like in their element and in their zone as far as like their performance. And then I also like that this time around we got to actually just have them and see them and let them have their moment versus in the past they usually have like all top three queens kind of sit there
Correct.
and chat and stuff, but this time they each had their own individual moment. We got to see like videos of like people that support them and love them and things like that.
Which, by the
So I thought
way,
it was
I'm
good.
not an emotional person and stuff
Did
like
you
that.
cry?
Like an idiot. Like I couldn't help it. I don't know if it was the underscoring or whatever, but I think what got me was there was Ginger's dad.
Yes.
When he couldn't now I don't know how they came at him. They said, listen, your son's on the show. This is how he feels. And then if the dad was so shocked and was sat with that and was like, wait, my son really feels this way about me?
Yeah.
That's what killed me because I felt like I've had those moments in my life with my family and I thought, what a great opportunity to just bridge the gap because sometimes we do stuff to each other and sometimes you need a little bit of an intervention to bring
Yeah.
you together. And I just thought it was so beautiful. And whose mom was it who set up a fan page?
Pearl.
Pearl's mom and
Mother of
kids
Pearl.
coming out of the woodworks
Or
wanting
let
support.
Ru say it. For sex.
Oh. Yeah. She's so silly. When she said that, I peed a little bit. I was like, how dare you know I've been sitting here with this bladder.
But it was just nice to see, you know, them just have that one-on-one with Ru and us to kind of have that last connection with them, because throughout this whole season, you know, they have kind of been in their head. They've been afraid. We haven't had a great chance to really connect with them, and I think this gave that last opportunity to
I miss
kind of do that.
Untucked, because Untucked was so much of those kind of moments.
Yeah.
And not having it on TV, I'm less likely to go watch it on YouTube. But I miss those moments. Not all that had to be sappy, but just where I got to know them a little bit outside of the challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I love the new Untucked, to be honest. I like that it's documentary style, that it's a little bit more serious, but I really do miss like the Gold Room and the Absolute.
I mean, I understand budget and everything, but come on, baby.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to sit behind the stage and be quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let's for real. Send me in a room, and that also added to the drama.
It did.
Separate
It
those
did.
bitches.
Yeah.
Let
Yes.
this bitch
Yes.
give and this bitch give, and then
Yes.
bring them together.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Please stop doing that.
That is
Yes.
the tea,
That
baby.
was,
Yeah.
because
Oh my God.
because you would always watch one room and you'd be like, oh, they spill it all the tea. Oh, they about to get together. Watch,
Yeah,
watch,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
about
yeah.
to go down.
And you
Oh,
also see for real who is the bolder of the girls and who's just
Yes.
a liar.
Yes.
Because you
Yeah.
always got this girl with all the mouth, and she be talking like this, and whoop to whoop whoop whoop, and then you put her in the room with the girl she don't like.
she's
and
sitting there
like,
drinking like,
Yup.
I have nothing to say.
That's true. That's
miss
one of the
that.
missing
Yeah, I
elements.
miss that.
yeah, I missed that too.
Yes.
So, Logo, get it together. Please put Untucked back on the show.
Separate them
and,
bitches.
you know, you can move cucumber and banana and watermelon and apples to like a later time.
And what I really don't like is they don't even have like the little games they would play, like the little fuzzy pink box and stuff.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God!
They
I don't know.
let go of all that.
I guess that's part of the why it was so hard to connect with this season, also because they didn't show a lot of what the
Yeah.
girls have.
Well, those girls kind of ruined it last season. No shade. Well, all shade.
Yeah.
They kind of ruined it last season because they were so aware of what was going on. We need girls who are a little bit aloof.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, we're going to put you in this room. I don't need you to know why you're going in this room. I just
Yeah.
need you to go into this room.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
and
that's true.
That's what it is. People, I feel like now, when it comes to just reality TV in general, they know what they need to do in order to give the producers what they need. It's not how it was back in the day when people had no idea and they were actually just being real.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like people go in, it's like, I'm going to play this character.
It's
and
so
it's like, no,
pre-recorded. You're
don't
right.
do that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we become so desensitized. We can almost guess what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
so these girls, last year, I agree, everyone came in super on-camera savvy.
Yes.
They knew what to say,
Yeah.
how to work the game.
Yeah.
And
Except
they're-
for Laganja
Yeah,
Stranja.
right. She was just so high the whole time. No, but no, I mean, just,
That was withdrawals, baby. I know the difference. I'm a choo-choo train. Yeah. So,
I need to hang out with you more often.
I'm just saying, I already know what it was.
I will say, if Kennedy Davenport made it to the top 3 and got a chance to perform, she would have shut that place
She would have, but you got to remember, Kennedy is one of those girls with this permanent disease called resting bitch face. You need to learn when you're on camera, you're on camera. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's not resting
Christian
bitch
knows
face.
all
it's
about
you have
that.
that
just a bitch
disease?
face.
You have that disease
I
too?
have that
Yes.
disease.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Everyone always
goodness.
assumes I'm a bitter person, which I am, but I want you to find out, not assume.
Now, the segment that I absolutely loved from Pearl was The Curse of Pearl. Where they showed like every person that crossed Pearl it ended up going home. But I love how they kept cutting to when she was Big Ange and she was like that. But then Pearl, coming for Ru again, was like, but you stayed, and Ru was like, bitch.
But you stayed.
That was the funniest thing to me. I was
Yeah.
like, you know, it also speaks to the level of professionalism that they're going for. You know, stop. I understand you want a younger demographic, but
Yeah.
younger people like to watch older people and make fun of them.
Yes.
That's why you get the older people.
Yes. Right.
When you have too many young people, it's just like a bunch of kids in kindergarten. You got to tell them all sit down at the same fucking time.
Exactly.
It ain't, you know, you ain't got time for all that. You know,
Right.
I'm not gonna tell, sit down, don't do this, don't do that. I would rather have a couple older girls who can shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes time for them young girls to get out of hand, you'd be like, Shut up.
Yes, yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
The thing is, they put these older queens on there, like Tempest or Kelly Mantle last season, who these young girls sweep them under the fucking carpet.
well,
because-
Kelly's not that old.
Well, Kelly's not. She was the oldest one. She was the oldest one on that season.
Well,
Okay, yes.
Yes.
And to speak about the ages of the girls, it's wonderful, but you need to get girls who are sharper.
Yeah.
Stop getting these older girls who are just older. I want a
Yes.
girl who is in the life, who's talented, who's, yes, you older, but you still pushing it, you still
Yeah.
sucking it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
this, I'm gonna still make this gig. Bitch,
Yep.
I'm tired.
Yes.
Yes, I can't drink because I know I gotta get up in the morning and my ankle's gonna be swollen. You understand what I'm saying? That to me is entertainment.
Yes.
An older bitch who really going through it, and you know she going through it.
well, speaking of the older queens and the younger queens, the rest of the girls, I like that they, brought them all out and they each kind of got their little moment.
Yes.
What was a great moment for you guys? For me, it was when Jasmine got the video from Patti LaBelle. And I know, like, that is Jasmine's idol, and Jasmine has actually performed with Patti a few times. But to be in that moment and then to have a personalized video from Patti telling you, like, you better do it, girl, because you know how Patti is. She didn't do a fly, but she's like, you better go, girl.
Yes.
Like, that's a good moment.
Yeah.
It was so, during that one moment, the way they edited Jasmine Masters to be so sweet and so sincere. I wish they would have done that the entire fucking show.
She is. She's very sweet. She's
I
very
know.
sincere.
And when I met her, I was like, wow, you have such a great energy to you. They portrayed you so wrong.
Yeah, and it was interesting because I also felt like I know Jasmine just from out and about, and I've
Yeah.
always been a fan, so I was excited when she was on the show. Then when I watched the show, I was like, oh, okay, well, where's the rest of her being nice? Because I know her, and that's
Yeah.
not how my experience of her. And I was shocked and also kind of like, okay, social media, how they come at her, and the effects of that. Because you think, these people are so strong, they perform whatever, but when you take off your wig and your makeup, you home and you reading your Twitter because you just posted where you can perform tomorrow,
Yeah.
and there's some hateful words from all over the world, that can't be easy.
Yeah, and that was interesting to hear from her too. And I think a lot of these girls go through that post Drag Race, is that you receive so much, hate and so much, negativity that, as you know, people forget we're human. So it's kind of hard on you when that's all hitting you at once. So when she, revealed how, like, her friend had committed suicide because of bullying, like, and she was just at a point where, like, oh my goodness, like, this is all too much for me. I was like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. People can't send you a fan letter no more. They can like do it instantly.
Yeah, they can let you have it.
I guess too, what I felt about the top three is I felt like there was a Kennedy presence missing in the top three. We didn't have that
Yes.
style of drag represented.
Yeah.
And I guess to me, in my mind, because I do like the pomp and circumstance, I do like girls who, if you can't dance, at least perform for whatever.
Yes.
And to me, some of the finalists were a little passive in their performance. It was pretty to watch, but it kind of felt like I've seen biological women do a better job lip syncing on LL Cool J's show
Yes.
than some of the performances I saw last night.
Ooh.
To me,
Was that a read?
it was
A little bit.
soft
A little bit.
well, I'm just saying, I wanted, you know what, I really did, because I saw when Shangela did this, Shangela won this, this EOC award thing.
Oh, EOI.
EOI, and it's Entertainment of the Year,
Yeah.
and it was a spectacle, and it was sickening, and there was dancing, she freaking killed it so hard. I had
Yeah.
never seen something like that.
Yeah.
To me, that's what that moment should have been for all of them,
For all of them.
in whatever shape or form drag you do.
Yeah.
And I think Violet's was actually the best because it was very Dita Von Teese. It had a clear point of
It
view.
kind of makes you think too, if they didn't have all these guys dancing around them and stuff like
What
that.
would
their
it have
performance
looked
was
like?
Look
Because you
like?
have to translate that performance to a club, because you can't hire 4-5 dancers to come to a club booking with you. You got to sustain that yourself.
Yeah.
And speaking of Shangela, she does that. And for what you guys didn't see, you can go to Wow Presents on YouTube and see the warm-up videos. House of Edwards, shut it down. Latrice Royale, shut it down. Bianca warming up the crowd, shut it down. So it was a great preamble to the actual grand finale
What is
show.
it? Where is it again?
Wow Presents.
Wow Presents.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just hope that next season they actually take the time to invest in finding girls who are working. I don't like them picking girls who have their own thought of what they're doing with no actual work behind it.
And Mrs. Kasha Davis kind of touched on the fact that there are some contestants who have, done drag for years.
Yeah.
And then there are girls who get put on Drag Race who have only done it for 7 months.
Yeah.
And then she jokingly said, that girl will probably win.
Yeah.
But like, they
true.
have the potential of winning.
It is true.
And it's, I've known many performers who have done this for decades.
Decades.
And it's like, you can't trump that experience from someone who just literally started.
No, because I remember going to, there's some people who are still doing it. When I was coming up in the clubs in New York, who are still doing it. Sherry Vine, like all these incredible performers who have decades of performance. And that's something you can't teach. And I love new drag, but I come from a time when you had versatility, where you could play in front of 4 people or 400 at a club and still slay it.
Yeah, yeah.
In Miami, there is 5 clubs and like 4 really well-known drag queens, and some of them don't even audition for the show every year because they're like, I got bills to pay, and I work 12 days. I work 12 shows a week.
She was about to say 12
days a week.
No, they would be like, I work 12 days a week, papi.
Yeah, papi. But they work 12 shows a week, and they go, and the clubs aren't close.
Yeah.
There's like 4 in Miami Beach, and then you have to drive 2 hours to Wilton Manors, and then you have to drive 3 hours to Sugar in another area, and they do it. It's a work ethic. It's amazing. And then you see these queens that just complain about everything and blah, blah, blah. Like,
So
They need that though.
Who do
They
you guys
need
want to
that.
see? Names. Next year, do you know performers that you? Because obviously, I'm pulling for you, Mama.
Miss Lady Red
That's my
Couture.
choice, Miss Lady Red Couture.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I had a vision quite a while ago, and I shared it with Michelle Visage as well as a couple other girls who are behind the scenes or whatever. My vision was I was in a party, and it was really hot and jumping, and then this big black thing came in, and then it rose up, and then it said the word season came out, and I was like, what is going on? And then I see this big black thing rise up at the end of it, so I'm like, what is this? And it was a figure, like a big shapely hourglass, and then it turned into an 8. It looked like a woman at first, and then it turned into an 8, and I said, that's my vision. So I am going to be the first big girl to win. I don't
Yes,
because
Lady
there's a
Red.
difference between big, fat.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm a big girl, but I'm not a fat girl. Fat girls don't believe in wearing undergarments. They just let it all hang out. I'm not a fat girl, honey. I'm a big girl. I shape everything correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm tall. I can carry my weight. I can hold my own. So I'm ready to go. Like, they just need to call me, baby. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to win. I line these girls up. I will eat them bite by bite.
Oh yeah.
I feel like Mayhem Miller
Mayhem would
should
be
be on
great.
there.
Yes.
Vicky Vox should have been on
Yes.
there by now.
Yes.
My best friend Luscious, who looks like Kennedy Davenport, performs like Kennedy Davenport as well. But Luscious definitely should be on there. And I would actually like to see DeRay Saunders on there as well. These are
Okay.
some hometown gals that I know.
is TP Lords from Miami. I've brought her
Okay.
up before. If you don't know about TP, you need to Google her. She rocks it. She's also like 6'5". She's huge, wears 7-inch heels, cartwheeling, backflipping, doing all these things. She's
need that.
amazing.
One of the funniest
Amazing.
drag queens I've ever seen in my entire life. She kind of looks a little bit like, for a while, she looked like Christina Applegate meets Madonna's love child. Her name is Daisy Dead Petals. She's hilarious, one of the best comedy queens I like from South Florida. And I think she would be a really great contender on Drag Race as well. I don't know if
Yeah.
she's auditioned, but if you haven't, girl, you need to.
Yeah. So speaking of wonderful girls, Miss Katia won Miss Congeniality, and Lady Red, you and I were at the actual taping of it. The crowd was in an uproar when it came to Katia. Like, the way that Ru brought Katia out right before she announced, and everyone cheered for Katia. Like, they actually thought for 2 seconds that Ru was like, I'm not going to give it to you 3. I'm going to give it to Katia.
I would have loved that.
I would have died.
I would have
Yeah.
died,
I
but I would have
died.
loved every moment of that
Yeah.
because it would have given us so much fodder for the future to like talk about forever.
Yes.
I mean, it would have
Yes.
been a little unfair, but
I always wonder what they think, like, after the show airs, like, what they think about their judging process throughout. Like, when you start seeing who the fans are gravitating towards, like, do they sit back and wonder, like, ooh, did we make the right choice? Did we send the right people home? Like,
I think they make the right choice. I really do think they make the right choice. I do think that it is the girl's responsibility to keep current. You know what I mean? Don't just give up. Don't just be like, oh, okay, I was on Drag Race. Or don't be like, you know what? I got sent home. Bitch, you make the best out of honey, I've been homeless and still working in the clubs, honey. Didn't know what the fuck I was going to do after I left, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? No matter what. So it all depends on the girl. That's why I say they just need tougher girls.
That's right.
I feel like one previous girl that can give a good lesson on that is Shangela, because that girl has learned how to work her moments on Drag Race and not have one but two. And learned how to use that continuously.
Just now with her managing girls and taking these tours for the House of Edwards all over the world. It's just smart business. This is now a business. This is, you know, and it's a viable one. I mean, the fact that we have a massive convention, 2-day convention for drag speaks volumes, and it was packed.
You know?
Some people, some of the queens work so hard but are so unrelevant. Mimi on first, I feel so bad for her at DragCon.
Why?
But she tries.
She tries.
Why?
She tries so hard. And I've seen her put out. Not because I like her as a person or anything. But she tries to stay relevant so hard. She's like, let me make this video. Let me do this. Let me do this. And everyone's like, no, Mimi, you will not be popular today.
Well, there is a difference between talent and shtick, okay? And that's all she has is a bunch of shtick. And you know, shtick is only funny the first 3 times. Then you're like,
courtesy laugh.
Poor thing, everyone else had a line, and Mimi on first was just standing there with her fan, and I was like, I'll take a picture with you.
Well, I mean, the World of Wonder threw her a bone with the, she got to, wasn't that her? No. Last night, was she one of the girls that read, or no, that was not her?
she was one of them. Asking questions.
Yes. Speaking of other moments from the finale, what other moments did we enjoy before we introduce America's drag superstar?
I actually loved Bianca Del Rio's final look when she had painted
the trophy.
herself.
She came out as the fucking trophy.
Amazing.
I need girls like that in my life.
Right?
She blended in with that scepter and that crown
I'm saying,
so beautifully.
you can be obnoxious as you want as long as you bring in talent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I do not personally care for Bianca Del Rio. I like her work ethic. I think that some of her jokes are corny as shit, but she's good. She knows she has a clear definition of who she is, and she goes for the gusto, and she don't disappoint. If you love her, you're going to always love her. If you hate her, you're going to always give her the side eye.
I love seeing the previous queens throughout the audience, and I love the asking of the questions. What you guys didn't see.
What
you guys did not see.
Y'all didn't see everything.
Like those girls, when they were asking those questions, when I tell you they were trying to get their extra 15 minutes of glory on that, and they cut them down.
They cut.
Y'all did not see. But
y'all didn't see half the answers.
I love the reads. Delta work, asking Kennedy if she condones that.
How about that?
Yes.
Delta work has lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, the girls are slimming down.
I'm so proud. I told her we don't hang out, but when we do get a chance to interact and love each other, I told her, I said, girl, you are amazing. Because you have to remember, that was when I first came to California, that was, oh my God, this is a big girl, and she's beautiful.
And her costumes are always
on point.
Her husband's a costume designer.
But that was
phenomenal.
Before that, I'm talking about before her husband. I do love Davey, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, she has always been sickening. She was one of the people when I was going through my stuff and I was doing shows. She had me in her big girl show, and she said to me, she says, you don't have a lot of costumes. And I'm like, well, I'm okay. She said, I'll tell you what. She said, I'm about to throw away a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to give it to you instead of throwing it away. And she literally brought me like a gang of shit, like a gang of stuff. All stuff that she couldn't fit because she had gotten too, I want to say, voluptuous for it. But I was happy because my fat ass could fit right in. And I was like, yes. And that I couldn't fit, I altered because I know how to sew.
See, that
which is a quality you should have when you are going on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Because you can't buy stuff for the rack. But for me, that's so nice to hear, to see the way other queens are lifting each other up. That's really.
I really wish Delta Work was on season 7 because that bitch would have won.
I know.
You know what? You know what's weird? I started wondering if other previous queens were on different seasons, like how they would place.
Right. Because it's all who you're up against. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Speaking of wonderful people, we finally have America's drag superstar, Miss Violet Chachki.
Yeah.
And we actually have photos from the crowning. They had the finale
cool.
party at in New York.
Oh, yes, in New York. Yes, yes.
So we have a photo, I do believe,
Okay.
of first of the top 3.
Okay.
And
Word.
then, yes,
Yes.
look at them.
Great.
honey.
So now, in this moment right here, let's say, oh, well, this is obvious, she has the crown already.
yeah.
But all 3 ladies showed up not knowing who had won.
Yeah.
See, and I
What?
don't know. I don't
Oh,
know.
you don't-
Well, no, I feel like they showed up not knowing, and maybe they all found out when it aired.
Yeah.
But tidbit during All Stars, no one knew who won, but I remember Raven telling me that she got a phone call on her way to Mickey's, letting her know what decision that they had made.
Right.
So I truly think that they don't know until it actually airs.
Yeah,
Because
they're-
during the finale, they filmed all 3
Yes, they did.
winning,
Yes, they did.
which I feel like it takes away from that moment.
It
from
really
them.
does because knowing that, I felt like Violet, who's not generally that emotional, maybe would have been a little bit more. Like, didn't it seem when she did her thing and Rue's like, take your walk, it was not a triumphant thing.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like a half-assed walk.
It's kind of like, I've been here all day.
Yeah, and
And
these
I'm
2
ready to
bitches gonna
go.
walk in a minute too.
But
so.
she you know what? That is her fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you take that moment.
Yeah.
If you pay attention when, y'all don't know this, but Ginger, not only did she cry in her interview with Rue, but when they taped her winning, she cried. She thanked her grandmother. She was very sincere. You take your moment where you at. You
Yeah.
don't just be like, oh, well, if I don't know if I'm gonna win. You take
You
it,
take
honey.
it.
You
Yeah.
take it and you run with it,
Let
girl.
me tell you, she did take her moment, Miss Violet Chachki. We have a picture of her from last night,
Yes.
and she looks very happy holding this check for $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and
What
she-
club is this? Do we know?
I don't know. It's a club in New York. I know that, but she looks great.
She looks great. I
And
just think that
having that much money looks
she got to
good
be
on you,
careful
too.
though. She got to be careful because she got a lot of mouth. I mean, she contoured it, like toward the end. But I mean, if you got a lot of mouth, you got to back that up too. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Well,
I don't
tell
know
me
I don't know what I would get if I saw her, like if she came to Mickey's.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what her thing
you
would
gonna
be.
get.
See, I don't know.
God. I'm so wicked. I have to be nice. So.
No, you do not have to
No,
be
I
that.
have to be nice
Okay.
because I'm going to meet this girl, and I don't. My ministry is love,
Okay.
but my love is a little tough. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
But I just think it's a little crazy, for her to be like, I have the smallest waist in RuPaul's history. Because in my mind, as soon as you say something like that, I'm like, that's correct, and the largest nosed and deepest voice.
Oh.
So be careful. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yeah.
Just
Yes.
celebrate yourself, but don't
Yes.
put yourself like, I'm the only one. Because, girl, I can buy a corset too and sleep in it, bitch.
Well, speaking of celebrating, we will celebrate you guys in just a few minutes. Right after this commercial break, we'll have your thoughts and comments on the RuPaul's Drag Race grand finale. We'll be right back in 2 seconds.
Yes.
This season of Hey Queen is going to be a ball, darling.
About to get my girls, cause you know we run the world. Sit down, welcome to my world, cause it's gonna be a twirl. On season 3 with Lady Red and Johnny. Do you want to vote for me? Let's cut up for me, let's go. Hey Queen, don't you wanna sit with me? Hey Queen, why you mean mugging me? Hey Queen, is it cause I'm fabulous? I'm sick and neat and I'm on fleek. Hey Queen, once in a while throw my hair. Hey Queen, let me see you standing there. Hey Queen, do you wanna go over there? Sick and neat and I'm on fleek. Hey Queen. Hey Queen. Hey Queen. I'm sick and neat and I'm on fleek. Now 1 to 1 to 1 1. Now 2 to 2 to 2 2. Now 3 to 3 to 3 3. And hold that fucking pose for me. Hey Queen.
This is the gayest fucking show of all time.
Welcome back, everyone, to this Dragalicious grand finale of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7. It finally woke up, and we now have America's next drag superstar, Miss Violet Chachki. And we wanted to find out what you guys thought about the grand finale and our winner. We have, oh, and also thank you guys for joining us live, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, thestream.tv. Ding. All right, so we have Sean Angus, that's real close to another word. He says, I've only just started watching Drag Race and I've cried 3 times. I'm a mess. Hashtag Drag Race finale at RuPaul at Michelle Visage. But you were saying the same thing.
I like it. They got me. I'm a little bitter about this particular cast and the way the show had been produced. But I think that since I started watching the Untucks online, I felt a little closer to them.
Yeah.
So to hear the stories come out, I think that's what I was missing this whole time. I didn't really know much about the girls. Just saw them in competition mode. When they were untucked, that's when they got real. So yeah, it kind of affected me a little bit to see them in a family dynamic and to see their loved ones being so supportive. It sends a very strong message to people out there who watch the show and maybe don't have that with their family.
Yeah. Is it me or like when Pearl was watching her videos, like on her face it read like, who are these people? Like what? Was I the only one that thought that?
No, Pearl is hard to read because she is a weirdo, which is the greatest thing about her.
Maybe that's what it is.
So you got to understand, she's sitting there with all this white and black makeup, looking like a little panda. She's beautiful, but I mean, it's very like, oh, okay. And then when she's watching it, I truly believe her lashes were too big. She couldn't see most of the people.
That's
you know what I
was.
mean? So then, and then when the emotion hit her, it's hard to be in that moment. Like you were saying, they were rushing and they had been there all day. But like I said, take your moment.
Take it.
Remember, this might actually be that time.
Yeah.
So but they're younger girls. You know how the younger girls are, honey.
Yeah.
I'll feel it in the moment. You know what I mean? I don't like this because I'm tired. Us older girls gonna rough it out. We're gonna be like, all right, you ready? You got the camera? Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Ginger did that exact same thing.
Let me tell you what. If you have me somewhere for a long period of time to rejuvenate me, just give me some cheese nips and a juice box, and I'm good. I may be like this, but. Oh, okay. Yeah, we good. We back on now. We back on. So we also have Mitchell at ThrillHo. Thrilling.
Wow.
He says, I'm just going to pretend Katya winning Miss Congeniality was her winning the actual competition. Hashtag Drag Race finale.
Listen, much like Idol, there are favorites, and those favorites will go far.
Yeah.
And you don't have to necessarily win the crowd to work frequently. Like, look at people like Pandora Box. She was many seasons ago, and she works a lot. And you can still travel the world. I think it's about how you carry yourself and the legacy you leave behind. Do people want to come and support you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I want Katya to win too.
I love her. I think she's great.
I love her. When I don't know. She's another one that on the show I was like, I love you. And then when I met her, I was like, I really, really, really love you.
It changes when you meet them in person because they're different people versus what you see on TV, which is why I get so frustrated when people make judgments on what they see on television because that not always.
You have to be able to separate it because, like I said, on the show, Jasmine was a bitch with the editing. And I'm not going to take anything I said about her back. You guys know I hated on her on the show. Whatever. But in real life, she is a very genuine and nice person.
Knowing that she, I've been knowing her for years. This is like my cousin in drag because when I got to California, she was one of the girls who loved me. It's not about the editing. It's not. It's just about knowing what not to say. You understand what I'm saying?
You gotta edit yourself.
Or you just own up to your shit.
Yeah.
Bitch, if I'm gonna be a bitch, I'm gonna be a bitch. Whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't like that girl. Yes, she needed to wear panties, bitch. And I'm telling her again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now what the girl got on? Panties.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on.
That's very true. They can't edit you in a bad way if you didn't say it to begin with. Because at least if you say something negative and then you follow it up with no, they're gonna edit the explanation.
They won't have it.
There you go.
That's all it is. And then we have Kressley at TweetyBird UC who says, at Miley Cyrus is getting more airtime than at Sasha Bell and at Candy Ho combined during this finale.
Oh my God.
I thought she was going to do something. I thought she was going to present something, but she was just there.
Miley Cyrus was just there because she is a lover of drag. Hashtag hello Miley.
Hi, Miley.
But she loves the show. So and I didn't realize that she was there. And I think she was there the entire time.
She was there the entire time.
Yeah,
Miley is a lover of drag. She's a lover of things that don't make sense. And I'm with her. I follow her on Instagram. I'm not ready for Twitter. Because that's too. I don't need you that close to me. Right. I want to just look at your shit when I want to look at your shit.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
But
right.
she is a lover of drag, and I think that the girls felt more like appreciated.
Yeah.
When you see a star who really don't have to be there, who don't have to be bothered.
And be there for the whole time.
Yes,
and,
like this one right here, honey.
Yes.
If she was sitting by me in Drag Race.
But we had that. But what I love though too, and by the way, thanks for having me on Hey Queen.
Of course.
Hey, Queen.
You a star, bitch. We only
this
have
one-
stars.
If you don't know what Hey Queen is, you need to subscribe to the stream TV.
Yes.
Right? Just subscribe. It's a great show. But I think what's so cool about this generation of drag is because of the, I mean, this has been a long time we've been seeing drag, but finally there's a vehicle where we're seeing the behind the scenes, getting to know these people, getting to see the process.
Yes.
It brings us all closer to this art form and helps us appreciate it. What I like about Miley is I think, in my mind, and a lot of the celebrities that have been on the show, they see it as an art form. And they see the performers as artists to aspire to, they get ideas from, they're inspired by.
Yes.
And it's a back and forth.
And so hopeful that she will be a judge on season 8. Like, just bring her in for an
I'm-
episode. Let her feel her
I'm
oats.
sure.
Yeah, because Ariana Grande was there, and Ariana Grande was like, "You guys are amazing," but she wasn't excited to be there.
I think she was.
I just think she does not doesn't show up. But I would also be curious if Miley would ever do a video featuring some of her favorite queens.
Ooh.
I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. That's probably something on her line of agendas. You know what I mean? Because she
Or have a party at her house and invite all her favorite queens to the party.
Well, she works with one of the biggest queens, Amazon Ashley.
Oh,
She works
that's
with
right.
her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
yeah.
takes her on tour and stuff. You know what I mean? And Ashley have hung out. You know what I mean? But it just depends on the worth ethic of the girl. You know what I mean? And I think Miley's going to gravitate to those girls who want to be seen.
Yeah.
Not those girls who need to be seen. Because
Right.
there's a difference between need and want.
Yes.
Yes.
So before we run out of time, final thoughts on this season and the finale. Christian?
I kind of wish it was like there was like a B12 energy shot most of the time, but I fell in love with the girls. I really thought it was a great season. I thought it was one of the most talented in some aspects, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't. I don't know if I'll talk about it as much as I talk about the other ones, but it will be talked about.
Jay?
I feel like Untucked needs to be back on the air. If you're not going to put it back on television, edit the girls' out of drag personality a lot more into the show so I can be more invested. Because the entire season I was like, I could care less. I don't even remember her name. And I don't think that's on me. I think that I'm used to seeing the companion show at the same time. And sometimes, frankly, late at night, it's like, I don't want to have to go to YouTube to watch and get to know their personalities. So that's the only thing I wish. Aside from that, let me see. I want to fuck Pearl. I want to... Oh, that was inner monologue.
That became
Keep
outer.
the soliloquy.
No, I actually am curious to see what is going to happen next. You know, sometimes people win an award show, and then hopefully you hope that they garner some kind of everything that they were taught to take on, that they come out and flourish. I'm curious to see what these girls are going to become.
Yes.
Miss Lady Red?
Well, I honestly think changing the recipe was wrong. That's why season 7 floundered, to be honest with you. If it's not fucked up, why fuck it up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't change a wheel that's not broken.
Right.
I think the recipe was great. I think we've learned from this season. I am glad these girls had a wonderful season. Yes, it was a little sleepy, but you know what? That's because they need to choose girls who are in the race of life already.
Yes.
RuPaul's Drag Race is just a vehicle in this race of life because you have to be in the car to get success. But you don't have to be, waiting by the wayside. You have to be in the car. You got to be active. I want to just see more active girls. Girls who are working, girls who want to do something, girls who, if this don't pan out, honey, they going to fail and not pay their rent. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, the whole time during the show, whenever you talk, I hear an organ playing in my, like the church organ, and then I hear a tambourine. Like I feel
This is my ministry.
church,
I'm going to be
yes,
honest with you.
yes.
This is my ministry. My ministry is to teach people how to love because I came from an abusive family, verbally abusive, not really physically abusive.
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and I was repeating stuff and doing a lot of bad stuff. And then when I met Johnny McGovern, he also taught me that's not how you love. What
Yeah.
you're doing is you're self-deprecating. You're hurting yourself by putting all this bad stuff stuff on other people, and I had to learn it. I was like, oh. Yeah. So once you learn, you always want to be able to teach and let people know, this is what I've learned, this is what you can learn, and if you don't want to learn, just sit there and look at me.
Right. Well, for me, I just think that this season didn't have those girls who remained confident throughout the whole season.
Yes.
I think a lot of them got in their head, and I think that's why this season didn't feel like the others, because there were some girls who maybe they weren't as confident, but you would have never known that. So I feel like if Pearl had won this season, it actually would have been the gag of the season, and it would have explained this entire season. Sure. Sleeping.
Right.
Maybe they just put like Xanax on the craft table. So they're all super tired.
Right. Well, we can only hope that the next batch of girls for season 8 will be another fabulous, wonderful bunch who know how to sew. And things of that nature.
Hell yes.
So before we leave, we want to thank you guys for tuning in each and every week and following us throughout this whole RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7 journey. And before we go, we have one last thing. Jay and Christian, one of you may not be with us next season. You will now have to lip sync for your spot. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Did you see me? I was like, we both were like, getting ready.
Can you imagine if I did that? And the shade of that all is apparently I'm not going anywhere. But make sure
I'm glad. I would never want to lip sync against Tony. Have you seen him lip sync?
I don't want to. No.
Go home.
We would have been the queens that would have been like, okay, we're not good, so we just have to get naked.
Naked, yeah, exactly.
Love me.
That's why I consider myself the RuPaul and know that I make the big bucks. And I'm just kidding. But thank you guys again for tuning in each and every week. And hopefully we will see you back for another Dragalicious time for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8. Until then, get your fix starting July 26th on Logo. Season 4, Revealed, will be premiering. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful drag day. Thank you, Lady Red, for being with us.
Oh, thank y'all for having my fat ass. Yes.
Thanks, you guys.
So, what's the reveal?
For more RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7 after show, make sure you subscribe to thestream.tv.